Okay, this is Daniel Holleran with the Met Ministries, Part 3 of the January 26th, 2014 update of the coming tsunami and earthquake to San Francisco, and also the coming war to Israel, whether they have to initiate it or not. It's unavoidable. And so in segment 2, I had mentioned quite a few verses. I love the Word. There's a lot to mine in those verses I gave out, tying in the comparison in the Bible of trees also denoting people. Okay, and I specifically mentioned the forest of Carmel. Okay, so this is going to be a divine judgment on Israel, a chastening, a very severe chastening, a judgment, and specifically Tel Aviv. Why? Because Tel Aviv is actually known as the homosexual capital of Israel in almost Europe, the Mediterranean. Okay, so we have the same judgments being dealt out, meted out to Israel and America. Okay, I would not be surprised if they happen almost coincidentally or very, very close in time to one another. Now I'm going to mention something very fascinating. Of course, I mentioned how Ariel Sharon died at the age of 85. He died actually 8 years and 5 days to the date when they originally posted to the world that he died, the 6th of January 2006, when he was 77. Okay? Now God kept him alive. That's a picture of Israel. Okay? And I mentioned the ensign, or what verse was it I mentioned here? A standard bearer. Well, of course, besides being a prime minister, Ariel Sharon was a great general. Now, his last name, Sharon, means forest. Okay? Now, this is all prophetic. In 2010, there was a horrific fire in the Carmel forest. Israel lost in excess of 6 million trees. Now, now that I drum this in over and over and over again, that trees denote people, individuals and groups of people. Okay? In the Holocaust, they lost over 6 million trees or people. Okay? And this is the intent of the enemy now, working through the Arab nations. Okay? Aided and abetted by a non-committing Muslim president. But we'll see. We'll see what Barack Obama does or does not. He is no friend of Israel. Okay? And it's not simply because he's a Muslim, because I mentioned Anwar Sadat. Okay? In fact, if you go way back, the Shah of Iran was great friends with Israel, and Turkey used to be on friendly terms with Israel. So just because a man or a nation is Muslim does not mean that they don't have a working relationship or have not had a friendly, congenial working relationship with Israel and the Jews. Okay? So that's a type. The nations in Psalm 83 believe that they are now truly going to finish the Jews, wipe them out and drive them into the sea. Why? Because Israel's strong right arm in this world, America, they think will not be there to help them. Okay? But God's going to allow it. They are going to put their eyes on someone they can trust, Yeshua. It says, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm." Okay? So, and anyway, they lost an awful lot of Aleppo pine trees as well. Well, there's Aleppo, Syria. And when this war comes about, I would not be surprised if the prophetic fulfillment of Isaiah 17:1 comes to pass, where Damascus is taken away from being a city. It means it's utterly rubble. Okay? It's going to be nuked. Okay? So, that is the update on Israel. It's all prophetic, you see? Everyone thought Ariel Sharon was dead, but God kept him alive. He came back from the dead, so to speak. and this to the nation of Israel, everyone's going to think they've gone under again. They didn't go under in 48, they didn't go under in 67 or 73, and they're not going to go under this time. And Armageddon is not going to wipe them out either. Okay. Now, the update on the San Francisco earthquake and tsunami. As I say, I think I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to dedicate an entire segment to this. This has been Daniel Holleran with Amet Ministries.